Hindi ko nakikita yung mukha ni Pamela. Tsaka ni Jeffrey. Yun. Okay, picture tayo ha. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay, Waki. Ayun, normal lang yung Waki natin, ano. Okay, again, good morning. I'm going to discuss to you the learning material last week. Then again, after this discussion, you may take your quiz until 12 noon. For those who are not yet informed, please pass or relay this message for them to take the quiz before 4 p.m. And are you aware with the examination week already? Alam nyo na ba?
Not yet, ma'am.
Okay, so exam nyo from May 16 to 21. Okay, that is your examination week. Siguro ganun pa rin. Hintayin natin yung announcement. Kung yung same schedule natin ng klase, yung schedule din natin ng exam. So next week, kaya pinag-iisipan ko pa kung magbibigay pa ako ng additional learning material para pandagdag. Yung exam natin, 100 items ulit, multiple choice. Yung quiz natin mamaya, 50 items naman. Okay? Yung coverage natin, cover to cover, from the very beginning. Okay? From week 1 until week 15. Okay? Sa 16 or next week, tignan natin kung magbibigay tayo ng activity o di kaya learning material. Sa tingin nyo, what do you prefer? Learning material for parang open forum tayo. Sinong favor? Raise your hand kung gusto ng additional learning material next week. Wala. Okay, activity tayo next week. Okay, ano sa tingin nyo? Activity tayo or learning material?
Learning material.
Okay, learning material included yun sa coverage ng exam. Pero pag activity, okay, activity lang na gagawin nyo. Sa tingin nyo?
Ma'am, activity lang, ma'am.
Okay, sino ang in favor sa activity? Raise your hand. Raise hand. Wala? Joy Ann, dalawa nagtaas. Dalawa lang. Okay, sino may gusto sa learning material? 3, 4, 5. Okay, sige. Learning material na may activity. Ano? Sarap. Sige. Ano tayo? Learning material tayo next week. Okay. Discuss na tayo? Okay. We will discuss global migration. I know you are already aware or you already know what is migration. Okay, anyone? What do we mean by migration? Na-tackle na natin ito last time. What do we mean by migration? Mon Argel.
For me, migration is the movement of people from one place to another. There are two types of migration, internal and international migration.
Okay, thank you for that. Correct. Okay, so before we move to the discussion, our objectives for today: distinguish different global civilization and categories, analyze the political, economic, cultural, and social factors underlying the global movements of people, and also to reflect on the experiences of OFW. This was already discussed in the yung last topic natin, which is the global north and global south, di ba? Yung sa situation natin, not just rely on the exact location, but also to the progress or the situation of our OFW who go abroad or nagmamigrate in order to achieve or to attain the their aspiration in terms of economic progression. First, review muna tayo. What do we mean by demography? Ito yung last week. Week 13. What do we mean by demography? Nakalimutan na? How about Marjeline? Ano ba yung demography na tinatawag? Marjeline? Who wants to help her? Mary Rose.
Ma'am, yung demography po is yung study po about sa deaths, income, and sa mga births po sa isang state.
Okay, yes, correct. O yung tinatawag nating population, a study about population. How about global civil society? Global civil society. Raise hand if you have an idea. Jamaica Rose, the tour.
The evolution, ma'am, of the society, like in their production po, their
Okay, thank you. Correct. Okay, from the word itself, civilized, industrialized. Okay, global civil society. Okay, it happened. Okay, nagiging civilized yung global society because of the international organizations. Yung mga movement sa mga production, finance, and different marketing and trade. How about global demography? Global demography. Patricia Fabia.
global demography po yung study of statistical study of yun nga po yung mga births, yung deaths po in global population.
Okay. So study, correct? Okay, the study, demography yon. But when we say global demography, ito yung mga issues concerned with the population. Yung population growth, birth rate, fertility rate, mortality rate, yung mga issues, okay? Yung mga trends and practices in terms of world politics and the study of issues in terms of population. Now, meron tayong population growth, birth rate, fertility rate, and mortality rate. What are the differences between the four? Maureen Ripalda?
Ang population growth po, ito po yung paglobo ng populasyon. And then yung birth rate naman po, ito yung bilang ng isinisilang na sanggol sa loob po ng isang taon. And then yung fertility rate, ito po yung yung number of children na kayang ipanganak ng isang ina. And then yung mortality rate naman po, ito po yung bilang ng namamatay sa loob po ng isang taon.
Okay, thank you. Exactly. So no further explanation for that because you already defined the differences between the four. Now, dito na tayo global migration. Okay, during the Cold War, okay, the leaders all over the world or all over the globe agreed to classify the world into three. Ito na yung three classification of the world. We already discussed this, di ba? Yung first world, second world, and third world. Okay? Yung mga first world, these are the states which have high income and are capital rich. Yung mga mayayaman. Ito yung mga global na nasa global north. Pero ngayon, or before, may ibang tawag doon. Yun yung mga tinatawag nating Western Bloc. Okay, pag second world naman, ito yung mga nasa Eastern Bloc. Ito yung mga former communist, socialist, industrial states. Okay, ang nagpapatakbo dito, government. Unlike sa first world, na capital rich, ang nagpapatakbo is yung mga private owners and companies. Pag third world, these are the nations not aligned with either the first world or second world, which are so-called developing countries, okay, or underdeveloped countries. Okay, ito na yung bipolarity of the world's hegemonic power. Okay, yung mga hegemonic power na yun, kasi the aftermath of the Cold War ended the what we call bipolarity of the world's hegemonic power. Ito yung mga naniniwala na there is hegemonic powers for the two, okay, known states or nations. At yung dalawa na nga na ito before, the Western Bloc and the Eastern Bloc. Western Bloc, yung United States, its NATO allies and others. Ito yung mga nasa first world. Yung second world, ito yung Eastern Bloc, yung sa Soviet Union. Mamaya maano natin yung mga iba't ibang mga bansa nakabilang sa Western Bloc and Eastern Bloc. This left the United States as the sole remaining superpower of the world. By 1989, the US had military alliance with 50 countries, therefore bringing to life the American era as a superpower. The US relied on its strong democracy and capitalist market to promote free market capitalism and further emphasize its global power. However, its success in promoting such market led to the dispersal of power to several other countries. Okay, ito na yung nagbago na dito. Okay, because after a decade, okay, meron na yung tinatawag na post-American world. Pag sinabi natin post-American world, ito na yung diffusion of power of states to other actors. Okay, ito na yung pumapasok yung rise of the rest. Yung ibang mga bansa, nakikisabayan na rin, umaangat na rin. Hindi lang yung hegemonic power ay nandoon lang sa US. Okay? It gives other states the power to play roles in the world economic and political arena. Okay? Into the connection with this, okay, Huntington in 1996 claims that Asian nations are expanding their economic, political, and military strength as a way to show the power that can be capable to hold in the world. Yung American era, it includes post-American world, refers to a period of power imbalance. Okay, kaya nga, rise of the rest. Ito yung mga bansa na nakabilang sa Western Bloc and Eastern Bloc. Here. Itong red, ito yung Western or First World. And then yung Spain, France, US, UK, Italy, Norway, Sweden. Okay. Pero dito naman sa Eastern Bloc, ito yung Soviet Union. Okay. Finland, Poland, Romania, Bulgaria. Nandiyan na yung mga bansa. You can screenshot. Okay. Post-American world. Okay. Yun na yung sinasabi ko kanina na meron na yung rise of the world according to Farid Zakaria in 2018. Okay. Yung diffusion of power of the states to other actors. Developed and developing. Yung mga developed countries and developing. Pag develop, ito yung first and second world. Yung developing, ito yung third world yung tinatawag. Okay? Kasi before, di ba, yung three classification of the world, napalitan. Ito na yung mga global north, global south, or tinatawag na developed and developing. Merged to highlight the economic inequalities of states. Tama. Kasi kaya nga nagkakaroon ng mga OFW na mamigrate. Because of these inequalities, na kulang tayo sa economic progress, kaya nangingibang bansa yung mga OFW, which motivates people to just move from one country to another, or what we call migration. Okay. Ay, sorry. Okay. As physical and human geographies develop, the world is becoming connected. Okay. Nakatulong yung civilization, technology, economic, social, ayan na, pinagsama-sama. Andiyan na pumapasok yung globalization na hindi natin may iwasan. Dahil nagde-develop na yung mga iba't ibang bansa or the whole world, di ba? Through the rising globalization or global civilization, the world has turned into multipolar power. Yan. Dati, bipolar lang, di ba? Dalawa. Yung Eastern and Western. Pero ngayon, multipolar power. In the words of Samuel Huntington, he argues, ito yung sinabi niya, the rivalry of the superpowers is replaced by the clash of civilization. In this new world, the most pervasive, important, and dangerous conflict will not be between social classes, rich and poor, and other economically defined groups, but between people belonging to different cultural entities. Ayan. Okay, according to Huntington, global civilizations are divided into the following categories. Okay, Western, Latin American, yung una, Islamic, Semitic, Hindu, Buddhist, Orthodox, Japanese, and African. At present, people from this global civilization constantly move. Melody Benderlipe, is she already a while ago? Let me check to the attendance. Oh yeah, baka nawala siya ng signal kanina. Okay, go back to the topic. At present, people from this global civilization constantly move from one place to another just to achieve economic stability. Ito yung hinihiling ng ating mga OFW. That's why they are migrating. Okay, they are moving from our country to the other countries. Democratic freedom and holistically good life that their home countries might not be able to offer. Okay, dahil maraming kulang. Okay, Cosmopolitanism by Haywood, 2011. Okay, it means adherence or belief in the world state. It is the ideology that all human beings belong to a single community. Okay, as the concept that can be linked to globalization. It began its journey when the world moved towards a single moral community from simply believing that the world could be governed by one state. Okay. Meron naglilink siya sa globalization kasi ang globalization, di ba? Interconnectedness of different countries. Pero ito, this is an ideology. Okay. Yung mindset ba? Di ba? Okay, meron tayong 3 elements of cosmopolitanism here. The individualism, universality, and generality. Mamaya mako-connect natin siya sa tinatawag nating globalization. Pag sinabi nating individualism, okay, cosmopolitanism believes that a human being is the ultimate unit of moral concern. Okay, it's about morality. Universality naman, okay, it is a belief that all have equal moral worth. Okay, pantay-pantay tayo. Okay, and lastly, the concept of generality, which implies that human beings have necessary concern for each other. Okay. This or thus understanding this concept of what we call cosmopolitanism, 10 minutes mamamatay na. Para matapos na tayo. In the way, or this concept, this understanding with this cosmopolitanism requires in-depth understanding of the role of moral integrity among people. Kaya nga meron tayong equal moral worth, yung concern natin to each other, diba? Okay, this belief, okay, through this concept or through this belief, the global city and globalization has come into existence. Okay. However, some critics say that it is impossible to transcend moral and cultural aspects of societies on an international level. Migration can be linked cosmopolitanism in the way that it enables people to agree on a common moral standard, which is influenced by how different cultures come in contact with one another as people move from one place to another, or what we call migration. Now, there are two types of migration, tulad ng sinabi ni Argel kanina, the internal migration and international migration. Okay. Pag sinabing internal migration, this is the movement from one place to another in the same country. Yung paglipat natin sa Manila, diba? That is internal migration. Yung mga taga Davao, pumunta sa mga cities, diba? International migration, this is the movement from one country to another. Dito na pumapasok yung ating mga OFWs. Okay. Factors why people na move from one place to another. Una, social inequality. Okay? Aware naman na tayo dyan. Economic depression. Okay? Kakulangan natin. Lack of source of income and more. Freedom deprivation. Okay? Isa din yon. Kasi mas maganda yung policies in other countries unlike here in the Philippines. These factors are the reason why cosmopolitan ideas exist. They occur at present, and since the concept of cosmopolitanism, hirap namang bigkasin ito, adhere to the equality and moral integrity among men. It plays a role in why people migrate. It is clear that migration is and will always be a trend. Some experts say that migration also has its own catalyst or it fuels the population growth. Okay? Yung last time nabanggit natin yung population growth, yung demography, na one factor is the migration. Okay, bakit nag-migrate na naman yung mga tao? Because of social inequality, economic depression, and freedom deprivation. Okay. Internal migration is also known as the local migration and has always been driven by economic sustainability. Okay. In the midst of globalization, nations around the world engage in trade to promote and strengthen a relationship among them. There is no global government that could govern all nations. Okay? Diba yung mga nations, United Nations, mga NATO, ba? Hindi niya mako-govern yung lahat ng nations. Kaya may specific na global government. Okay, according to Henry Now, in 2009, transnational relations exist in the present world because countries trade with one another and population move across state boundaries. Due to transnational relations and growing demand for economic wealth, migration exists. Okay, ano ba, i-elaborate natin what do we mean by migration. So it is a form of social behavior that both shapes and is shaped by broader social and economic structure and processes of transformation according to the International Migration Institute and in 2011. Migration is not only rooted in economic aspiration but also in political motivations according to Possible 2002. Meron tayong 3 categories. Okay? Ito yung tinatawag nating voluntary economic migration, forced displacement, and refugee crisis. Okay, ito yung una, yung voluntary economic migration. Okay, ito yung mga OFW. Dito natin may apply. Okay, it is rooted in the pursuit of economic stability. Okay, in the condition of the other people to move from different regions. Okay, like Asia and Africa. Umiiyak yung anak ko. Bilisan na natin. Okay, next is forced displacement and refugee crisis. Nagwala na siya. Naririnig niyo ba? Naririnig niyo? Nagwawala na siya. Okay, yung dalawa naman na to. Okay, this is a forced migration. Like halimbawa, may war, may violence, may different crises. Ayun. Kaya nagkakaroon ng forced displacement and refugee crisis. Ito yung 2 categories of global migration na pinipilit yung mga tao na umalis from one place to another because of a crisis. Okay, to sum it up, there are several effects of migration in the particular country. There are different scenarios and different factors why people migrate. Migration play a vital role in the social, economic, and political aspects in the Philippines. With the country reliant on labor export, OFWs are seen to be major economic drivers of the country. They affect the economic sustainability of the country through their remittances. Okay, yung pag nagpapadala sila, di ba? Kaya na-attain nila or na-achieve nila yung economic condition na gusto nila for their family. This is also the reason why the country foreign policy focuses on labor export. Another effect of migration in the Philippines is the brain drain. In 2009, the Philippine Institute of Development Studies found out that 50% of employed Filipino migrants or immigrants have tertiary education. Okay? Only 14.6% of them are managers and professionals. Okay, imagine sa 50% na yun, 14.6 lang ang managers and professionals. The remaining 26.6% of them are working as technical or technicians and clerks, and the rest are operators known as service workers, according to DOSA and UBITA 2009. Okay, you have the activity, pero naipost ko na ito last week, di ba? May tanong pa kayo? Do you have any question? Ay, kalahati lang pala yung mukha ko. Okay, do you have any question? Wala na? Okay, kung wala na, you can now take your exam. Thank you, everyone. And have a great day ahead. Goodbye. Umiyak na si baby ko.
Bye, ma'am. Bye, ma'am. Thank you po.
Ma'am.